In 1935, Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, plunged into a deep trance while performing one of his readings for an intrigued transportation agent. With his eyes closed, Cayce envisioned a world in flames consumed by military conflicts in pursuit of power and territorial expansion. He vividly described an impending alliance between Austrians, Germans and Japanese, a sinister alliance that would cast a shadow over the world. Cayce predicted these catastrophic events with uncanny accuracy, 4 years before they became a painful reality in the form of World War II. To Cayce, his visions during sleep were just one part of his mysterious gift, a gift that transformed him into a legendary figure who transcended the limits of human understanding. Hello, curious minds, and welcome back to Deciphering Stories. I'm your host, Luca Schultz, and today we're going to dive into the lives of two of the greatest visionaries of all time, Edgar Cayce and Michel de Nostradamus. But before we embark on this journey of discovery and adventure, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Stay with me until the end of this video and you'll discover how Cayce and Nostradamus carved their names into world history. Without further ado, let's get to the video. Born on a humble tobacco farm in Kentucky, Edgar Cayce rose to prominence in 1910 for his exceptional diagnostic abilities, which defied traditional medical methods. With only the patient's name and address in hand, Cayce would identify ailments and suggest potential treatments. His reputation exploded after the remarkable case of Wesley Ketchum. Ketchum, a homeopathic physician, suffered from a mysterious condition that he and 6 other doctors diagnosed as appendicitis. With surgery scheduled for the removal of his appendix, he decided to consult Cayce as a last resort. Intrigued by rumors of the Seers' extraordinary diagnoses, Ketchum proposed a test of his abilities. However, Cayce declined as he only performed readings for those who genuinely needed them, and submitted a written request. Ketchum, without hesitation, drafted a request for a diagnosis, without mentioning the location of the pain or subsequent events. With no prior knowledge of Ketchum's condition or the impending surgery, Cayce entered his characteristic trance and proclaimed that the problem lay in the doctor's spine. To Ketchum's surprise, the following week, Cayce's diagnosis was confirmed. What was believed to be appendicitis was actually a pinched nerve causing the pain. Impressed by the Seers' accuracy, Ketchum could not contain his admiration. He wrote an article titled, "A Medical Marvel," sharing his experience with the world and shedding light on Edgar Cayce's extraordinary gifts. Precognition, the ability to know future events before they occur through means beyond the ordinary senses, was the gift that immortalized Cayce in history. He predicted World War II, the fall of the New York Stock Exchange, the deaths of 2 American presidents, and even guided many to success by revealing the location of oil reserves. His consultants included prominent figures such as Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, and then Vice President of the United States Henry Wallace. Unlike many consultants, Cayce never sought personal enrichment from his gifts. He did not charge for his predictions or diagnoses, accepting only modest donations. His choice to share his gifts to help others, rather than seeking material gain, reinforced the mystical aura of the sleeping prophet. Edgar Cayce left a remarkable legacy, inspiring millions with his unique gifts and deep compassion. His story continues to fascinate and intrigue, challenging conventional notions of knowledge and reality. While the mechanism behind clairvoyance remains an unsolved mystery, many seek to assess its credibility through the accuracy of predictions. After the death of their father, Edgar Cayce's sons, Edgar Evans Cayce and Hugh Lynn Cayce, undertook a meticulous analysis of his recorded predictions. With the help of detailed records kept by the stenographer who accompanied the seer during his sessions, they delved into the details of the 14,246 readings Cayce conducted throughout his life. After a thorough analysis, Cayce's sons concluded that only 200 of the predictions were incorrect. This impressive accuracy rate shed new light on their father's incredible ability, corroborating the confidence that many placed in his visions. Although the mystery surrounding clairvoyance persists, the numbers revealed by this investigation served to further strengthen Edgar Cayce's reputation as one of the most renowned clairvoyants of all time. It is indeed intriguing to read and see accounts of this kind, but a doubt always lingers in our heads. Was it all real? I don't mean real in the sense that both people experienced the singular event, because that is indeed possible, but in the sense of, was it not a misunderstanding on the part of both? Were they not both in fragile moments that led them to such a point? In short, the question remains, Is all of this not the product of our need? Are we not so vulnerable at that moment that it makes us think that what happened is indeed real? Michel de Nostradamus's fame as the most controversial seer of all time was largely fueled by the remarkable accuracy rate of his predictions. Born in 1503, Nostradamus was a royal physician, astrologer, and prophet with apocalyptic visions of humanity's destiny. His visions were carefully recorded in the book, The Prophecies, the first edition of which was published in 1558, during Nostradamus's lifetime. Although posthumous editions have appeared over the centuries, potentially subject to alterations, Nostradamus's work generally consists of 1,085 quatrains, organized into 12 centuries. Each century is composed of 100 quatrains, although 3 of them remain incomplete. The unique format of his prophecies, presented in enigmatic verses, contributed to the aura of mystery surrounding Nostradamus's work, while his predictions continue to fascinate and intrigue scholars and readers to this day. Some versions of Nostradamus's work, such as the one from 1650, go beyond the prophecies contained in The Prophecies, and include omens and other predictions found in letters written by Nostradamus himself, sent to kings and friends during his lifetime. These additions further broaden the scope of the French seer's visions, offering a more complete picture of his prophetic abilities. Nostradamus's quatrains are known for their complexity and ambiguity. They often contain hidden messages and multiple meanings, making them fertile ground for a wide range of interpretations. This allows experts on Nostradamus's life and work to attribute various predictions and meanings to a single quatrain, generating a wealth of debate and discussion about the true scope of his visions. Nostradamus has been the subject of study and debate by various authors throughout the centuries. While some focus on translating his quatrains repeatedly, constantly claiming incorrect translation, others suggest that the real challenge lies in interpreting the set of verses. This ambiguity makes it easy to attribute all sorts of predictions to the prophet, generating a diverse range of interpretations. A notable example is the supposed reference to Hitler's rise in one of Nostradamus's quatrains. John Hogue, author of the book Nostradamus and the Millennium, believes that the mention of the Nazi leader can be found in the passage, "Wild and hungry beasts will cross the rivers, the greater part of the field will be against Hister. In an iron cage the great one will be dragged, when the son of Germans will obey nothing." However, for skeptics, this interpretation is merely speculative. They argue that Hister was simply an ancient Greek term for the Danube River, not a direct reference to the Nazi leader of World War II. This divergence of opinion illustrates the complexity and controversy surrounding the interpretations of Nostradamus's prophecies, keeping the debate about the true meaning of his words alive to this day. The prediction of the death of Henry II, full of impressive details, remains one of Nostradamus's most striking prophecies, further consolidating his legacy as an extraordinary seer. The tragedy unfolded while Nostradamus was still alive, adding an element of authenticity to his vision and reinforcing the myth surrounding him. Henry II, King of France, met his fate during a jousting tournament, a medieval competition in which knights faced each other with lances and swords while mounted on their horses. Nostradamus's prophecy vividly described the fatal moment. When the lance of his opponent, the Count of Montgomery, broke into 2 pieces, one of the fragments struck the king's eye, exactly as Nostradamus had predicted 3 years earlier. This precise and tragic fulfillment of the prophecy not only strengthened Nostradamus's reputation as an incomparable seer, but also added an additional layer of mystery and fascination to his work. The death of Henry II during the jousting tournament continues to echo through the centuries as one of the most striking events linked to Nostradamus's prophecies. Well, once again it is worth remembering that maxim, knowing that the king constantly practiced this sport, and that there was a high probability of an accident due to the risk involved in the activity, wasn't Nostradamus shrewd to imagine that such an event could indeed happen at some point?